The new Tomb Raider game is getting a reveal soon. It's imminent, we just have to wait and see. The publisher and developer are calling it the first true next-gen Tomb Raider. Crystal Dynamics, working with Amazon Games, built in Unreal Engine 5. It's shaping up to be something vastly bigger than the reboot trilogy. Rumor has it Lara is now fully seasoned. Gone are the early Survivor days. This is an experienced explorer racing into an open world set deep in northern India and maybe a ton of other places in the world like Egypt, according to leaks. The story reportedly kicks off with a catastrophic natural disaster that exposes long-buried Ashokan ruins and powerful relics. From a ton of leaks by industry insiders, it is said that you'll traverse this world using a motorbike, a parachute, grappling hooks, all of Lara's signature traversal tools in a truly unrestricted environment. It's meant to feel free, not hub-based, according to this big rumor. Expect factions too, a society of raiders, groups inspired by Lara but with opposing agendas. You'll reportedly recruit teammates, each with unique skills, adding strategy and narrative depth. On top of that, there's talk of optional non-lethal combat, disabling instead of killing in certain missions. Fans on Reddit are already hypothesizing about dinosaur encounters, hidden artifact hulls, and supernatural elements, classic era callbacks. It's probably gonna happen because Crystal Dynamics is officially blending the rebooted trilogy with the older games. You'll get brutal action and realism, but also temple ruins, time-shifting artifacts, ancient creatures. No official confirmation, but speculation is high. Internally, it's known as Project Jawbreaker, supposedly ditching reboot-style personal drama in favor of global relic hunting. The leaks suggest Lara's no longer a lone wolf, but a leader, working alongside a small team during a mission to prevent world-ending catastrophe. Crystal Dynamics is still hiring, polishing visuals and world tech under Unreal Engine 5. Amazon's backing suggests a big push. Sources expect reveal at Gamescom 2025. I'm very excited for this. Recently, and for the first time, we've had our first in-depth gameplay details for the extremely ambitious and hardcore medieval zombie horror game called Blight Survival. It's super deep in development with a massive team behind it, and while I don't exactly know when it's going to release, you just can't help but get intrigued by such an awesome project. It looks and sounds so different than other medieval or combat games. They want this one to feel hopeless, gritty, disgusting, and most important of all, very hardcore. Blight is shaping up to be one of the most unique and grounded single-player and co-op PvE experiences we've seen in a long time. And not because it's flashy or overloaded with gimmicks, but because it understands the importance of atmosphere, tension, and tone in a genre that often leans too far into arcade-style chaos. This isn't a power fantasy, this is a slow, deliberate descent into horror, and it's looking really good thanks to all its brand new details we've just received. Let's get into it, and don't forget to like the video to support. At its core, Blight is a third-person medieval action horror extraction game set in an alternate 14th century Europe. You play as a Rythan, so a soldier stripped of their identity, masked and indoctrinated, sent into the quarantine zones where the Blight has taken root. Your job is to infiltrate the infected territories, survive brutal combat, gather resources, and get out alive, if you can. This is not a horde-based game. It's not designed like Vermintide or Left 4 Dead. Combat is focused, deadly, and intimate. Fights are rarely fair and enemies don't go down easy. This is more Souls-inspired in pacing. Every enemy encounter matters and panic will get you killed. Weapon handling is being taken seriously. Damage types matter like slashing, piercing, and weapon choice will be key depending on your enemy. A well-placed strike with a warhammer might stagger a heavily armored brute, while a nimble dagger could mean life or death when trapped in tight corridors. The devs are also committed to adding both historically grounded and creatively adapted medieval weapons, including one-handed and two-handed swords, bows, crossbows, and even more niche gear like great mauls for anti-armor use. This isn't a button-mashing hack and slash. Every move you make has weight and every mistake is punished. There's also an interesting layer of session-based structure. The world is not persistent in the traditional open-world sense. Instead, you launch missions from a growing outpost, a firelit hub where your Riven returns between expeditions. As your reputation grows, this outpost evolves, acting as a social space where you can rest, plan your next moves, and connect with other players. Think of it like the Firelink shrines of Souls games meeting the squad hangouts of Helldivers 2. Customization is also surprisingly deep. You won't be sculpting your character's cheekbones, but you'll be outfitting them with meaningful visual choices. Ubisoft has confirmed what had been floating around in rumors for a while now. The next Ghost Recon game is in development, it's codenamed Project Over, and for the first time in the series, it's going fully first person. That's not speculation anymore, this is official, confirmed directly by Ubisoft leadership in their recent financial meeting, and it's launching in 2026. Now this is a big deal, Ghost Recon hasn't really had a strong, clear direction in years. Wildlands had its fans, Breakpoint stumbled hard, and since then, there's been this feeling that the franchise wasn't sure what it wanted to be. Project Over looks like it might finally change that, and it's doing so by stepping into a space that's already highly competitive. First-person, tactical military shooters, but with its own angle. It's set during a fictional conflict called the Naiman War. We're talking full-scale regional crisis, a war-torn part of the world that's messy, morally complex, and politically charged. You play as an elite ghost unit dropped into this environment with one core goal: infiltrate, gather intel, and survive long enough to uncover a hidden traitor. That betrayal aspect changes everything. It's not just a war zone. It's a situation you can't fully trust, including the people around you. This isn't going to be a cinematic set-piece heavy Call of Duty campaign. Based on what's known, Ubisoft wants this game to lean more on atmosphere, tension, and slow burn immersion. You won't be sprinting through explosions, you'll be checking your corners, listening for footsteps, using recon drones and suppressors, and trying not to give away your position. Going first person wasn't just a visual decision, it completely shifts how the game plays. It makes the stealth feel tighter, the action more direct, and the pressure more intense. Internally, the devs have been studying games like Ready or Not, Modern Warfare 2019, and Squad, games that treat gunfights like tactical puzzles, not just arcade reflex tests. So don't expect Ghost Recon to go full run and gun here. Combat is supposed to feel heavy, recoil matters, sound design matters, flashlights blind you, smoke actually conceals, ammo is not unlimited, and when you screw up you'll feel it.
His parents cut their own rope to save him. He watched them fall, then found his way off that mountain. He was 11 years old.
He then started a grand tour of every major boarding school in Britain.
Always at the top of his class.
Always at odds with authority, same thing in the Navy.
His superiors all praise his instincts.
And they're all in need of early retirement. Nobody knows what to do with him, Mom.
No, and I suspect he feels the same way. But what he did in Iceland...
What he did in Iceland was insubordination. It was ill-disciplined, utterly reckless. He only survived thanks to blind luck. Give me one good reason to put him in the program, Mom.
I think you just covered them all, Greenway. It's really quite simple. Bond is a bullet without a target. Let's give him one.
Do you have an appointment?
The name's Bond.
James Bond. He's with me.
And you are? Don't think we've had the pleasure.
Now let's not get ahead of ourselves, James.
So you shouldn't have.
We're facing a situation of the utmost delicacy. I need all my pieces on the board.
009 is a master manipulator. Whatever the endgame is, we won't see it coming.
Jet lag gets me every time.
She's not your friend, Bond. She's an asset.
With respect, Mom. To hell with that.
Tell me, what do you do, James?
Lately, headhunting.
I suppose this is another teachable moment.
Thou shalt not kill. So the priests tell us. So the Lord commands. But ambitious men do not listen. I sought no war, but war found me. I became like them. I took up the sword, prayed I could win redemption through my deeds. But some paths, once taken, have only one ending. I shall find no peace. On this road, there is only death. But that's just my story. Go write your own.
Okay, so this is new. I absolutely did not expect the upcoming single-player action FPS Squadron 42 to be filled with that many gameplay features, also side quests and missions, but thanks to a bunch of details that people have seen just now, this game is looking and sounding like one of the most ambitious of the past few years, without a single doubt. It's awesome to see the improvements they've made, and I'm glad that they're actually not scared of actively talking about it more and more. Squadron 42 is part of the Star Citizen universe and has been in development for about 10 years now, with a bunch of famous actors and ambitious features that no other game has tried yet. So without further ado, let me just get right into those gameplay details, and make sure you guys give your support onto this video to beat the YouTube algorithm. Now first of all, before we get into those details, Squadron 42 is a standalone single player campaign in the Star Citizen universe. Fully playable offline and blending spaceship dogfighting with on-foot, first-person combat and puzzle solving, where you play a new recruit in the United Empire of Earth Navy, which is an elite military unit fighting to protect humanity against both aliens and bandits. You'll live aboard a massive capital ship, and from there you'll be able to explore the ship, talk to people and expand your relationships with them. Also get little quests from some of these people and get dispatched to various missions, which will take place both in the cockpit of various customizable spaceships and on foot. It's roughly a 50-50 split between the two. You can expect a mixture of large-scale space battles and first-person shooting, and some missions will have multiple paths to their conclusions. As well as the overarching story, it is said you'll get a chance to define your character through the actions that you take, and a dynamic reputation system that changes your standing with various NPCs throughout the story. The head of CIG, Chris Roberts, said it'll take around 20 to 25 hours to complete, and it's also said the game is growing more and more, so the hours could go up. So it is said that each level in this game will offer multiple ways to enter, exit and complete objectives. It's not just one linear line that you have to follow. There are multiple places to explore, but always one story to follow. It's not necessarily open world, but it lets you explore almost as you wish, with different unique locations. You can also go right into the action if you want, but you can also completely avoid combat by going a different route with your ship and float over the base to slip quietly into an airlock with your character, for example. If you do get spotted, enemies will call in reinforcements, but they won't magically appear from thin air like a lot of games do. No, they will be nearby, in ships for example, and will fly in to help. But if you manage to sneak onto the base quietly, you might be able to take over its AA guns and blast that backup out of the sky, leaving the base helpless as you begin your assault, says an interview with PCGamer.com. Squadron 42 will take place in a small area of Star Citizen's overall galaxy, but that's small in a galactic sense. It's a massive chunk of space, and the team promises will be open to explore for you.
What's that sound? Huh? What's that sound?
Freeze.
'Patrol here. We have evidence of an enemy intruder. Commence alert formation.
Acknowledged. Sending reinforcements. Use extra caution.
That guy? No, he's close. Where did he go?
We've lost sight of the enemy. Find him. We're under fire. Enemy position unknown.
Loading like this? It's a revolution.
All right, Commander.
Baby. Take this! Here comes another one! You won't get away from me! Time for you to taste some real pain!
What's the matter? I'm over here. Go back to your own world.
See you in hell!
I'll grind you into nothing!
What the?
今日我们所流的血，是为了把大唐带回来。我们必须在破城之前把安宁带出来。安宁，等着我。安宁，安宁，
阿爷，我将追随杀出一举。
去长安，你这是让他们去送死！
输赢成败，皆如沙上之塔，风来即散。唯众生之苦，长漫于天地之间。
回家吧，这一切毫无意义。天命所归，我才是大唐。到头来，除了死更多人，什么都不会改变。
没有我的帮助，你走不出这片沙漠。 如果神不肯拯救我们的部族，那就让我来。
Renwood Hotel. I know that's where your mother was murdered. Alyssa died 8 years ago. Perhaps it's time for you to face the past. Grace.
What is this? Hey!
Stay close. They're coming.
I know now that you're the one that I've been searching for. The special one. The chosen one. Miss Ashcroft.
Investigating all these strange deaths, huh?
We need to keep our voices down.
Have you seen the same shit I've seen?
Please know that you are my hope.
Everyone's gone.
Stay away from that!
Awaited Crimson Desert is finally back in the spotlight, and this time it's not just another cryptic trailer or vague update buried in a dev blog. Pearl Abyss has confirmed once and for all that Crimson Desert is officially targeting a 4th quarter 2025 release, and this time it really does seem like the game is finally closing in on the finish line. This news came straight from Pearl Abyss's Q1 2025 earnings call, and it's backed by some clear signs that development is in its final stages. According to the company, the team is currently focused on voice-over recording and polishing the game for launch. That's not early phase development anymore, those are finishing touches. And what's more, we're not just getting internal updates now. For the first time in years, Crimson Desert is about to get a full proper reintroduction to the world. This could be limited to media and influencers at first, but there are strong signs that a public version might follow shortly after. This reveal is a big deal because for a long time, Crimson Desert has been more of a mystery than a real tangible game. We've had gorgeous trailers, cinematic sizzle reels, and the occasional dev interview, but never a full breakdown of how the game actually plays moment to moment. That's all set to change. Pearl Abyss has promised a new in-depth look at gameplay, not just in combat but in exploration, world interaction, and narrative design. This game started as a prequel to the studio's earlier MMO Black Desert Online, but during development, Pearl Abyss made a pretty big pivot. They decided decided to separate it entirely from the MMO structure and instead focus on creating a standalone single-player open-world RPG, one that shares some lore and aesthetic DNA with Black Desert, sure, but is ultimately its own beast. The result is what looks like a dark fantasy action RPG set in the war-torn land of Pywell. You play as Cliff MacDuff, a battle-hardened mercenary drawn into a power vacuum after the kingdom's unifying king falls into a coma. It's a setup that opens the door to faction struggles, personal politics, shifting alliances, and a world teetering on collapse. You're not the chosen one, you're just a guy trying to survive, make the right calls, and deal with your own ghosts while keeping your crew alive. And that's one of the reasons people are starting to look at Crimson Desert differently now. It's not just another fantasy RPG filled with prophecies and glowing swords. There's a groundedness to the world they're building, a rough, almost medieval tone with layered systems underneath.